Hello! We're back for the season finale of Exodus, and it's gonna be a heist. So we're excited. Before we jump into all that, though, I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves and their characters, and then I'll pass it on to V to take it away, and we'll get into all the action. So starting with top left, which is me, I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for The Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do. There is a link to my link tree in chat, which has got my website and all that other stuff. Most of it's tabletop related. If you're watching this later on the Fantasy Network and can't see chat, then it is linktr.ee/the Raven, like it says below my face here. And then I play Niklaus Sebastian Adama, usually just shortened to either Nick or Klaus, depending on which person is driving at the moment. So Niklaus had a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of experiment go about as well as that one did, and ended up with Nick, who is the smarmy, ambitious, arrogant, kind of villainous doctor, and then Klaus, who's a little bit like Mark Hamill's Joker, like from the animated series. So something along those lines, though perhaps even a little more erratic. Currently, we're dealing with Nick, though. I rolled before we started to see who we'd be dealing with, so that's that. And then before I do pass it on, a quick word about sponsors, which is Fundamental RPG and Intrepid. You can find Fundamental RPG, looks like this, at Amazon. Just do a search for the name or Raven Evermore, it should pop right up. And then if you'd like a digital copy and or character sheets for that, you can find those at coffee.com/raven/shop. Like it says in the bottom left-hand corner, just add /shop to the end of that. At the same website, you can also find Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life, athletic and casual wear, accessories, coffee mugs, water bottles, stuff like that, with a tabletop theme. It's pretty cool stuff. You should check it out. And then, yeah, if you want to check out past episodes of this or other shows that we've had on the channel, you could do so at the Fantasy Network, which is just watch.thefantasy.network. Go to Stream Library, look for Blackfeather Guild, and that's where you can find all of our stuff. So all of that out of the way, I'll pass it on over to Rowan. Tell us a little bit about Pepper, Anne, and yourself.
Hello, I am Rowan North. I'm a freelance illustrator and art educator, and I play Pepper. Pepper is a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
I love that.
She lived a life in isolation even before all hell broke loose. And now that all hell broke loose, she kind of went into her little happy place to cope with the horrifying situation that is her present. And so that means that sometimes she's very rarely lucid, very rarely makes sense, but when she does, it's she knows some shit. Anyways, she also has 2 doggos named Artemis and Hearn after the gods of the hunt, and yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Next we got Yaz. Tell us a little bit about Bambi and yourself.
Hey, I'm Yaz, or Vodelia. I make a lot of art, and I play Bambi Darling. It's still my favorite way to describe her, but Exodus is Starlit Harlot, and she is currently trying to break into her sugar daddy's safe house. So we'll see how that goes. And I don't believe it's gonna go great for Bambi. She's gonna have some hard truths, I'm sure of it. Anyways, yeah, I'll pop my links into the chat there for anybody that's interested in any of the artwork that I do. Yeehaw.
Awesome. And then before I pass it on to V, quick reminder that Bambi currently has an advantage. The cast currently has an asset to let us get out of jail free card, essentially. Get out of a bad situation if we need to. We also have 11 d6 and 3 crits available, and then V, you've got 7 d6 and 2 crits available. If anyone in the audience would like to make there be more of those things. The little chart underneath my face here kind of explains that, how that works. And then, yeah, V, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and this wonderful game that you've created, and then we'll pass it on to Yaz, actually, for 5 minutes to GM for a little bit because of the swap we had.
Yeah, I always forget that there are D6s and crits, just because usually I'm so busy trying to herd cats with you guys that I always forget to use them. Why add to the chaos when there's already so much of it? Yeah. But before we hand it over to Yaz, hi, I'm Vanessa. I am the GM of this game. I also created the entire system, whether for better or for worse. This is my circus.
It's good.
Yeah, it was a system that I put together specifically to match the theme of the game. Based on kind of the first person shooter, BioShock is based off BioShock. One of my all-time favorite games, the first person shooter that I ever played by myself. So it's got a very special place in my heart, and I knew that if I was going to run a game, I definitely wanted to do something inspired by it. So that's why we're here. As for me, I am an artist. I work primarily in watercolor and pencil sketch, as well as digital art. So if you'd like to take a look at any of my work, you can certainly do so. I have an art Twitter, which is @Pepperodraws. It's there below my little Game Master card. If you're unsure of the spelling, that's Peppero like the candy. And yeah, welcome to Exodus. So I play everybody that is not one of our lovely playable characters. I also have one of our, I won't say former players, because she's always welcome to come back whenever she wants. But Riley used to be here with us, and her character Sydney. So I've taken over Sydney for the time being in Riley's absence. I also play Anastasia, who is the person who sent out the SOS call and was the one to bring Niklaus and Sydney down into the city. So last off, we had arrived at John Castillo's hideout. Vixen led you guys through the entertainment district down into this little section where she knows that John Castillo has set up his hideaway. You guys got into the main kind of lobby of the building, which featured kind of these beautiful ornate fountains on either side of the entrance. Kind of like these big pillars, almost like ionic pillars in the corners of the rooms, lots of plants growing in and out, things like that. And that is where you met with the two Blackwood brothers. They came out, they were in the next room over. You heard them laughing through the hallway, and they came out to meet you. I believe it's Sydney, Niklaus, and Pepper, right? You guys made your way through the vent on one side of the wall?
Yeah, Sydney went first, and then Nick, and then did Pepper Ann actually get into the vent?
Yeah, she did. Like,
Okay.
super easily.
She's clearly done this before.
Oh, yeah, she has. Everyone's been like, "Oh, Pepper, be sneaky now. The Pepper, we're worried about you being sneaky," and she's the one who's like a pro at this. You fuckers. Anyways.
Yeah. So she jumped in there pretty easy. So you guys are in that little vet system. Like I said last time. Oh my goodness. Like I said last time, this little system isn't very large. Like there's an opening on the other side that connects to the next room that you can easily hop out of. So it's not gonna, take you all the way around. You don't have to worry about being claustrophobic or anything like that. It's clear that there are other vents that you can potentially go through because this is a system, but the other one is not too far away. And the Blackwoods are in the main lobby with not Anastasia, with Bambi and Vixen. I believe we're the only two there, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So yes, that's where we are now. You can do whatever you would like with the Blackwoods. They're at your disposal. You can fuck us up real good if you'd like. But yeah, totally up to yourself. Take it away.
I'm so excited that I have paralysis.
Just as a little refresher, I believe that Xavier was in between Bambi and Vixen, kind of like cuddled up all in there, and that's where we left off. So, be my guest. Do what you gotta do.
Okay. So just to confirm, it's Xavier, correct?
Xavier, yep,
And Samson?
and Samson.
Okay, I got the names mixed up last time, so I just needed to make sure I had them right in my memory.
If you're confused, just remember Savoy Samson, Xavier Zahil.
Yeah, no, I know you did that on purpose. Last time I wrecked it, so that didn't help me out.
All right, 5 minutes on the clock for you now.
Okay, so I guess Xavier would probably like pull Vixen and Bambi in together and like give them a little bit of a squeeze and be like, isn't that nice now that I got two of these dashing girls with me or something, and like leers at both of them.
Vixen definitely puts like a very disarming smile on her face.
What does Bambi do?
Sorry, I got distracted for a second. The dog is doing something weird. Sorry, yeah. So Bambi giggles and kind of snuggles in a little closer to him, enjoying the weight of that arm. And she doesn't say anything, but she bats her eyelashes and giggles a little bit.
Xavier would probably look at Samson and make some kind of snide comment along the lines of like, and what are we gonna do with these two little rabbits tonight? And like says it in like that really predatory way that's just very uncomfortable making to everybody involved. And Samson, I'm having like a super fangirl moment. Sorry.
I totally get you. It's fine. Every time I play the Blackwoods, I'm like, I love it here.
I don't know if Samson would say that, Raven, but that's a really good suggestion.
It's just what popped into my head.
Samson probably like just takes a drag on his cigarette and says like, you know, we're too good for rodents these days. And he looks like from Vixen to Xavier to Bambi and like does the little wink thing like he's only kind of joking. And yeah.
I naturally kind of slipped into Vixen's mindset, but you're welcome to take Vixen as well, if because technically
fine.
she's.
There's so many characters.
I know it's a lot.
I need a handicap. Thanks.
Okay, I'll take Vixen as well. You can kind of see the expression on Vixen's face tighten a little bit, but she keeps that smile, that like disarming, charming expression of hers. As Samson says that. Bambi, on the other hand, is still kind of caught up in the bliss of being curled under Xavier's arm, that she doesn't quite notice the barb, especially kind of like that dragging on the cigarette, laid back Samson energy that's radiating off of him. So she doesn't really connect to the barb that much.
All right. Well then, Samson's gonna kind of like brush some of the ash out of his cigarette and kind of like more mindlessly stomp it out and look at the two of them and kind of like suspicious eyes of like, what would bring the two of you here at this hour? together.
You know, since they're just catching up, right? Like everybody's just here to chill and have a good time.
Yeah.
Kind of catching that suspicious look, Vixen would clear her throat. And the smile kind of drops from her face a little bit as she becomes a little more serious. And she lowers her voice, and it's almost like a purr when she says, "Well, can't we just stop by to say hello to some old friends? Why does there have to be anything wrong?"
Zaheel, or not Zaheel, dang it.
It's hard, isn't it?
How do you do this? Xavier cackles in that terrible, terrible way that we all know exactly what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And pulls the two girls even tighter in, like wrestled in almost, like, and looks at Samson is like, well, I mean, I'm with Vixen. I can't see any reason why these two lovely rabbits can't come in and sit down and catch up with us. And Samson clears his throat again, thinks about what he's gonna say, takes another drag, and then speaks and says, I suppose I wouldn't be so concerned about it if it happened more regularly. And he kind of like picks at his nails and then looks at the two girls again. Like, I'm not buying it.
Bambi tries to use her lovely charm to kind of disarm the moment, bats her eyes again, and looks from Xavier to Samson and says, well, you know, it's always better late than never, wouldn't you agree?
Samson has like a light chuckle and is like, I suppose that's true. And he takes a couple steps towards them, and like it's clear that he's probably looking at the rest of the location for anything else other than Vixen and Pepper. Or sorry, Vixen and Bambi. Jesus, my brain's not working.
So many names, so little brain space to handle everything.
That's time, by the way.
Oh, good. Thank God. Please save me.
No, you did good. I'm always happy when you get to bring out the Zaheel and Savoy again. So
I
hoped you enjoyed it.
I did. Even if I was really nervous.
No, you did great. Samson steps forward and is trying to keep that search a little more inconspicuous. Just a very lazy kind of look around. No quick movements, anything like that. And then he looks to Vixen first, and then decides against whatever he was going to say and looks to Bambi instead and says, so where are the rest of your friends?
Bambi probably wouldn't really skip a beat and just said, oh, they found a different way. They're not here anymore.
That kind of gets like a little chuckle from Xavier, who leans closer to Bambi's ear, so that laugh is right there in her ear and her face. And you can kind of like feel his breath on your cheek as he just makes this very quick chuckle. And he just says, made another way to where, sweetheart?
Bambi doesn't laugh like I'm laughing nervously. She's way better at being cool than I am. Bambi bats her eyelashes and puts on that classic Bambi dumb look, and she says, "Oh, I thought it was a figure of speech. Did I say it wrong?"
Xavier, like the grin is definitely more of that kind of predator baring of teeth than it is an actual smile.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the expression that he has right now, and he just says to Bambi, like, you know, I don't remember ever hearing an expression like that, but then again, I don't quite remember you ever being good with words. Isn't that right, Bambi?
And she just laughs like, yeah.
In fact, I quite remember your talents lying elsewhere. Isn't that right?
And she like gets more uncomfortable, but she's here for it. She's like, yeah.
When you're
That's her
uncomfortable, but
eyelashes.
you still want to be included.
Oh, it hurts. Yes.
I feel like Vixen is probably getting too much a kick out of seeing Bambi squirm. So she's kept her mouth shut at this point. But then she kind of weasels her way out of Xavier's grip a little bit as she puts some distance in there. She doesn't quite like being headlocked.
That's valid.
So she makes a show of it, actually. Rather than just kind of like weaseling out, she like pushes away from him and huffs a breath. It's like, you know, very dramatic about it, so that Xavier finally turns his gaze from Bambi to Vixen. And he just like, he coos at her like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't know that I was hurting you, kind of like very condescending. And she just rolls her eyes. So yeah, we'll hold that for a second. You guys in the vent, how are you doing? What's the next move here?
Oh, well,
I would say you
there's-
can probably hear the conversation.
Well, I
but-
think that's the most important part. I mean, Pepper's probably just listening in, seeing like, okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Is like this gonna go well? Are we gonna be fucked over? Should we continue looking, or do these girls got it? Because the whole point is, if they fail, we're the ones that steal the thing and run off for sure.
Yes, Nick's not really super concerned about the conversation. He's looking to see if there's anybody like within line of sight of the vent, and then if there's not, waiting until like Bambi or Vixen or somebody laughs or coughs and makes a loud noise to try to scoot out of the vent.
So I think Sid was at the forefront, right? So I'm gonna get her to
Oh yeah.
try to pop her head out a little bit and see if there's anybody in the room without causing too much of a commotion. All right. Sid's got a pretty good stealth, so we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
I always have to make sure that I've spelled it right before hitting enter. How many times have I put only one L in roll? An 18. So Sid pops her head out of the vent on the other side of the room. So this is the little room where Samson and Xavier just came from. And she looks around and does not see anybody else in this room. So she kind of pops her head back in, motions to you guys, Niklaus and Pepper, as if to say, like, you know, come on, it's fine. And then she starts to lower herself out from the vent. So as you guys do so, I will get you to roll either a stealth or a skillfulness. You can choose which one you'd like to do. Stealth is to be as quiet as possible, or skillfulness so that you're able to do it well and don't have to worry about making noise. Whichever you have,
Let's see.
that is
My
higher.
skillfulness is 1 pip more than my stealth. So I'll go ahead and go with that.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm in.
Oh boy.
I got a 24 for stealth. And Pepper got a nat 1.
No, I did
No,
not.
that was Sid.
Oh,
Fuck off
Sid,
with that
okay.
nat 1 bullshit. I'm telling you.
Wait.
Somebody
We've
get
got
a nat
D6s, guys.
We
Add
do have
some
3 crits as well. V,
Well,
you've got 2 crits as well.
I'm gonna use a crit on for Sydney because I don't want to ruin it for you guys this early. And I don't want Sydney to end up with like a broken leg or something. So I'm gonna use a crit on my side.
All right.
But yeah, other than that, and you said, sorry, what did Niklaus get?
24.
24? Yeah, so 20, which stat did you roll?
Stealth.
Stealth, and then for Pepper?
23. And that's skillfulness.
Stealth, skillfulness, and then a crit on stealth for Sid. So Sid is the first one to come out of the vent. She starts to move out and almost slips. Her hand almost slips. She almost falls out of the vent face first, but is able to quickly catch herself. And thankfully, it doesn't make any noise. She holds her breath and stays there for 1 second to make sure that nobody heard anything. But there's absolutely no indication from the boys that they've heard anything. So she slowly begins to lower herself out of the vent, hops down onto that little step, the little lip that's in front of the vent systems, and then is able to step down. Niklaus, you are able to do the same thing. You follow behind Sid and are pretty well off. You're fairly certain that you have not made any distracting noises. Again, doesn't seem like the boys have noticed anything. And you're able to do the same thing, lower out from the vent. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze as you kind of like wiggle through there. But you're able to reach the step and then step forward.
So
and
I
then-
just remembered something. Aren't the dogs with Vixen and Bambi?
Oh yeah, they are.
And that's a little weird, probably.
I think Vixen probably would have stationed them closer to the entrance. So at this
Okay.
point, so Vixen, Bambi, and the Blackwoods are towards the center of the room, and then the dogs are closer to the entrance in the back, like where the fountains are.
But they're still visible, or are they not?
Did Pepper command them to hide anywhere, or?
So Pepper's not actually sure what the plan is with the dogs. Like the whole thing was like, okay, the dogs can be my eyes. But like what that entails, she wasn't sure. Like, is that they're taking the dogs with them? Like, these are our dogs now, or if it's you guys stay hidden and just keep peeking on over.
That's a pretty good idea. I don't think we.
That's up to yourselves. I think that you would have discussed this before going. I hope
Yeah, 'cause
you would have
I didn't.
discussed
I
this
would
before
hope,
going
yeah.
in. So I'll let you decide that now. What route would you rather take? Do you want the dogs to stay hidden and just act as like the link between the two groups, or would you like to put them
'Cause
in a
either
more
way,
active role?
They're I spies.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think staying hidden might offer us like a little bit more leeway and credibility to the bullshit that Aunt Bambi gave them.
Yeah. They could be our backup.
Okay.
The backup. Okay, yeah,
All
sounds
right.
good. So
So
if
the
you'd
only
like them
concern,
to,
the only concern, I guess, that Pepper would have in general is that if you guys move rooms, the dogs won't be able to have a good eye on you.
yeah.
That is true.
Do they
Yeah.
only respond to Pepper's movements, or would they know to follow behind? Is another question.
It really depends on what the plan was. Like, if Pepper can order them whenever to say like, "Hey, follow me." It could either be like, "Hey, follow our movements," or "Hey, listen to Bambi and Vixen." Like she can give them that order. If that was the plan.
Well, I mean, like I said, you can tell me what you prefer, because I have the feeling that they probably would have discussed that prior to jumping headfirst into enemy territory.
Yeah, because
so-
I'm actually not sure now. Where it's like,
Yeah.
you just said that you had the dogs with you. I don't know what that means.
Personally, I think, yeah, if they were to stay back between the two fountains, like the two that are immediately next to the entrance, and then, you know, if they knew to kind of adjust their position based on the two that they're with,
Yes,
that would probably make the most sense.
which they would be. Like, once again, on top of, you know, being able to listen to Pepper completely and respond to her thoughts, they are smarter than the average dog after eating so many splicers.
Right.
They're mutants.
I mean, we could just suck it up and the dogs could be with us and we'd say that we stole them.
That is an
I
option,
don't know.
yes.
I don't care either way.
That way the dogs can actually come with us.
Without being like, whoa, what are those dogs spying on us here? Like, I don't have to do multiple roles.
Yeah.
But in that case, there will be a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be, we could go with that one and call it good. Like,
So
that
have
would be what they
the
would
dogs out in the
request.
open with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick will suggest, you know, if somebody makes a fuss about it, just tell them that the way we were going required diving, and the dogs couldn't come with you, so you left them with
Or
Bambi.
I like the stole idea. It's dependent upon how turncoat you'd want to be about this. Like a fuck those guys, or we just parted ways. Like, it really depends.
Right. Bambi just sort of made it up on the spot. I think it would have been a preemptive plan, like what the actual like reason was. Unless
She could have
you guys-
forgotten.
It's true. She could have forgotten. I don't know. It's
How about this? The dogs are sticking by Vixen more than Bambi.
perfect. Sounds great. Works
right.
for me.
So what we've decided on is that the dogs are in the open. They
Yeah.
are responding more so to Vixen, and that way Pepper has eyes on them from what they can see at all times.
And they don't have to be sneaking around and lose them, or
Okay.
less complicated.
Yep, that is perfectly fine to me. That being said, what were we doing before this? What was the last thing that was said?
We were trying to sneak out into the hallway to go find stuff, the stuff that we're
Yes.
looking for.
Yes, you guys all successfully made it down from the ventilation system. Right.
Right.
So when you guys step down out of this little vent hole in this secondary room, you can see that this is it's a bar. It's a bar room. It's got a stage in there. Not completely unlike one of the lounges, one of Bambi's or Vixen's lounge. But the layout is a little bit different. The stage is near the center of the room. There are tables and chairs and things set up on either side, lining the walls. And then the bar is on the back wall, and there are two doors on either side of the long bar. There's nobody in the room. You take a look around. There's nothing particularly large or tall to hide behind. It's not like, there's a whole lot of people that could fit in here. This is clearly a private establishment. But near one of the tables by the door and then the hallway out towards the main entrance is a table that has some bottles that are half empty, some glasses. So this appears to be where the brothers were sitting before they moved.
Okay.
So that's what you see when you come outside the vent.
Does the table or anything else in the room have like drawers or anything that I would, think would be searchable?
In terms of searchable, your best and probably only bet is the bar on the back wall. There are no cubbies or anything like that around the establishment itself.
Okay. No filing cabinets labeled here are the key cards?
No, unfortunately.
Darn.
I think they might have had it set up like that, but then something probably didn't jive so well. So they're like, maybe we should not keep them in the cabinet that's labeled key cards. That would seem kind of a little too on the nose, so we should probably change that.
All right. Then, yeah, Nick will go look behind the bar.
When you look behind the bar, there's a cabinet that says not key cards. No, I'm joking.
If there's anything that says free bird seed, I'm really going to steer clear of that.
You can go ahead and roll investigation for me.
Okay. 19.
19. All right. So, you search along the bar. There aren't really any cabinets or anything. Everything's pretty open. So it's not like you have to really dig around to see much of what's there. There are a lot of glasses underneath the bar, bottles of alcohol. It seems like if you pick up and look at these labels, it seems like it's pretty good stuff. The bottles seem like they're in great condition. It's not like Vixen's Lounge where everything was very worn and clearly old. It looks like this place is well kept.
Okay.
Do you search for regular things as well, or are you just specifically looking for the key card that you're looking for?
Oh, my nose itches. If there's a nice small bottle of rum that can fit in a coat pocket, he'll grab that.
Sure, yes. You do
and if
find
there's
that.
any sweet, and then if there's any spare parts, our component doohickeys. Probably, keep an eye out for that, but mostly looking for the key cards.
I think in terms of components and things, the only thing that you really find is the dispenser systems and stuff like that, or I don't know, an ice maker, or something bar words like that that you could probably take some components from. So yeah, go ahead and add an extra 10 components to your pocket.
Awesome.
Other than that, no, there's nothing really of note.
Okay. Pepper, although she's a few fries short of a Happy Meal, or few cukes short of a cucumber. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. She shut up. She does look at the bar and say that doesn't make sense. In her head, she wouldn't say this out loud. She's like, it wouldn't make sense for a key card to be here. So she's gonna look for a official looking office, a back room, something a staff room, something like that.
So the only thing that's leading off of the current room are the two doors on either side of the bar.
Okay, on either side.
Yeah, there's one door on either side, and they're both closed at the moment.
So she's going to go to the left side and listen at the door to see if she can hear anything.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll awareness. Which side are you going to?
Left.
The left? Yep, go ahead and roll awareness.
Okay. Need a D20. That's a nat
Sid,
20, my dude!
Woohoo. Sid is probably staying with Niklaus. Niklaus while I was gonna say Sydney. While Pepper is moving towards the left-hand door. Do you follow? Do you go to the other door? Are you still kicking around? What are you up to?
Probably go to the other door. Just
Other door?
divide and conquer the room, so to speak.
Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Are you also checking to see if you can hear anything, or are you just
Yeah,
like kind of waiting to see what Pepper's doing?
kind of keeping an ear out just to, if I hear footsteps approaching or something like that, so that we don't get, ambushed or anything like that. And then looking around for other places to go, other things to look for. Nick's pretty hyper-focused on getting the key cards.
Yeah, you can roll awareness to hear if you would like to. And Pepper, for you, you press your ear to this door to see if there's anything beyond, to see if there's, voices or anything of that kind. And you don't hear anything. You are very, very sure that there's nothing dangerous that lies beyond this door. If you press your ear to the door, it's almost like you can hear, obviously not wind because you're underwater, but airflow. And it seems like there's some sort of either hallway or staircase here. It's an open space. But you are 100% sure that there's nobody on the other side of this door for you.
All right. So like that, she just opens the door, and I expect like Nicholas, like, what are you doing? Oh, you're good.
Are you trying to be sneaky opening the door? Are you cautious at all, or are you just opening the door?
Well, she's not gonna like bang it open, no, but she's just gonna be like, boop, And so I guess he is like,
Evens or odds?
Odds.
Odds, okay. Okay, so you open this door, and it squeaks as you open it. And it's not an overly, grating squeal or anything like that, but it does make noise.
At this point, Nick actually does look over and give the dirtiest librarian look that he can muster.
Pepper just shrugs.
I've seen so many TikToks that I can't discern sometimes whether it's a TikTok or a Vine that I'm trying to reference, but it's like that audio that's like, shut the fuck up.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Fuck off. Yeah. I imagine it's much like that.
Yep, that's pretty much the emotion on Nick's face.
Let me see. So Xavier, from outside the room, does not notice a single thing. He is so concerned with what Vixen and Bambi are doing that he does not. He's completely written off. He can't hear anything. In fact, he's just completely caught up in whatever Bambi is saying. Like, he's so focused on her. Samson, on the other hand, yeah, he's playing into this little game of cat and mouse that they've got going on here. He's just completely gone. Doesn't know what's happening in his surroundings. Samson, on the other hand, mid-sentence, he's saying something. He stops speaking and tilts his head a little bit. He's noticed, but he doesn't know where the sound has come from yet, from what Bambi or Vixen could tell. Bambi, if you want to roll awareness for me, and then I'm going to roll for Vixen as well to see if they notice what Samson noticed. That's not what I wanted. I opened Anastasia's character sheet instead of Vixen's by mistake.
Oops.
Yeah.
I had a surface to roll hard dice on, and now I don't. I'm so unprepared today, guys. Oh no. Okay, hold on.
Take your time, no worries.
That's gonna be 27, right?
27? Yeah, so you hear...
D20s.
Yes. I feel like you ask that every single
I
time.
know. I have so much game stuff going on that I
I
can
know.
never, like, keep what dice together.
That's
When
so
you have like
rude.
seven different games in your head at once, and you're like, which systems am I using?
What game is this again?
What day of the month is it? What time of day?
Yes, exactly.
Awareness. Hold on now. Oh, Vixen is shit at being aware of things. Okay. Vixen doesn't hear it either. Vixen is so concerned with what Xavier is doing, and Xavier is so fixated on Bambi. So Bambi and Samson are the only two that hear this. It's like a game of tag over here. Yeah, you hear this noise. You hear the squeaking coming from somewhere. But like Samson, you don't have an exact pinpoint on where it is. You just know that it's there.
But Bambi also knows what's probably causing it. That is terrifying. I'm pretty, look at me! Your only natural defense.
Hey, look at me. I want attention.
Yup.
So, Bambi, as you hear this, you also see Samson tilt his head.
I may regret this later, but it's such a character thing. She would probably have like a little like inhale of breath and just like cute laugh it back out of like and like totally change the subject. Be like, well, what are you guys doing tonight? Baby's not awkward at all.
Just imagining the same energy of, what in the world could that be?
I thought about that, but it did not happen.
Sworn I saw something.
Yes, I totally get this is an in-character thing that would happen, but I know it's a bad idea. Because the other day, during one of our Animus sessions, Annie stabbed someone, and I knew that was a bad idea, but she did it anyway.
Sometimes
So I get
the
it.
characters drive themselves. It happens.
Yeah. You're like,
Well,
I could,
I mean,
of my own good brain, I could stop them from doing this, but it's really what they would do. So can I say no? Absolutely not. Just stab a guy.
You know, knowing
the
me,
first stab actually was good. It saved you. It was the second stab that caused problems.
I would also like to clarify that the second stab was not me.
Yeah. What were you
So-
saying, Rowan?
you know, if it was me, I'd be like, "Excuse me."
Oh my god.
May or may not be the right response, but that
Sorry.
IRL would be what I would do.
I have this weird disorder where my farts sound like creaky doors. It's really bizarre. Sorry.
How bizarre. How bizarre.
It's how bizarre.
Oh god.
Yeah. When you have to take one for the team and put yourself in the shame box. pretend
I'm
that you
shameless.
farted?
Yep.
Oh man.
Anyways,
I'm
what
shameless. That's
happens?
the point.
All right, so I was about to say Zahil. Oh my goodness. Xavier, being focused on Bambi, obviously notes the sudden change of topic, but has no idea why this has occurred. And for all he knows, it could just be that he's flustered Bambi so much that she doesn't know what she's thinking anymore.
She
But-
just goes with it.
Yeah. Samson, on the other hand, looks for a moment like he's going to pursue whatever the sound was, but then kind of settles back into whatever stance he was in before, and just takes another drag on his cigarette.
I find
Uh,
myself simultaneously relieved and a little disappointed.
Mood though.
What? That
Right?
there's no chase?
Oh yeah, just that he didn't go to inspect it because I had something
Uh,
I was gonna do if he did.
Of course you did. It's
Don't get-
Niklaus.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm relieved. This is good.
Whew. Yeah.
Man, I should put you guys in more danger. That seems to be what you want.
It's just so funny because, like, also as far as like the unsmart ideas we just were talking about, I know that we're so off track, but that was exactly why Pepper opened the door without like sneaking. She's like, okay, no one's there. I'm gonna open the door. You know.
Yeah, never mind
That's
the fact
Pepper.
that there are people behind you instead that you should be worried about.
Yeah.
All right, so you open this door.
Details.
You open this door. It's squeaky. All this stuff happens, but it seems that nobody is coming from the other room. The voices continue on. Xavier is saying something about, how it's so good to see that Vixen and Bambi are playing nice with each other. And I think Samson owes me $5 because he didn't think it was going to happen, and I had faith in the two of you. Something like that. I
That's
don't know. Is
hilarious.
$5 too much a bet for the 60s?
Not for these two.
No, that
the
is true.
60s, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I
it's
don't-
a
I-
hefty bet, but it's not that terrible.
And also, seeing as who they work for, I think it would be okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, he's like, I bet $5 that that I would see you two being buddy again. And look, you made a guy's dreams come true. That's so lovely to see you guys acting friends, and I'm $5 richer.
He sounds. I've been watching Friends, and he sounds like Joey. Like
Yeah.
an even sleazier Joey.
Oh my god.
I
you're
love
not
that.
wrong.
All right, continue. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Please,
That was an
please tell me his opening line is "How you doing?"
How you doing?
I mean, I feel like that would be on brand for Zahil anyway,
Yes.
to be honest with you.
Fair. Fair.
But yeah, so they don't seem like they're coming through. Pepper, do you just go on up the stairs?
Yeah, but sneakily this time. She's like, I've already fucked it up enough. Like, let me be a little bit more sneaky.
Well, at least she's being stealthy now.
Fuck off.
You can go ahead and roll stealth for me.
Okay.
Sid is looking back towards the hallway. She doesn't completely trust that nobody's going to come through that doorway immediately. What about you, Niklaus? Pepper has
you said
now
there's
disappeared.
You said there's a second door, right?
There is a second door, yeah.
Nick's gonna carefully open that and investigate that, because while myself, if I were in this situation, I would, make sure my party member is okay. Nick doesn't give a crap. So, yeah, he's gonna look through the other door. Being
Love
it.
extra
Just leave-
careful. in
Just
case
leave
it
Pepper alone.
squeaks.
Leaving Pepper alone, that's a great idea. No.
Nick figures, well, at least it'll be a distraction in the opposite direction.
You can also go ahead and roll stealth for me Because you know what?
Alright.
It might just be that these doors have not been oiled in a very long time. So I need to know how gentle you're being with them.
All right,
Yes,
so
thank you.
that is an 18. I'm gonna add a d6 onto that,
Okay.
which will make it a math is hard. 22.
22? Perfect. Yes, you open the door and there is no squeak. You are able to easily
Yes.
turn the knob and the door swings in.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mute.
Bless you.
Bless you.
The door swings inward and there is no noise. In this little section here, it's just another back room filled with bar stuff, supplies, more liquor, things like that. There also seems to be another staircase up as well.
Okay. Are there bar towels?
Sure,
Okay. Klaus
that
is
would make
gonna
sense.
interject just briefly. So,
Of course he will.
Nick will grab like a bottle of the closest thing to Everclear that's available, and a bar towel, and then go up the stairs.
I see. Interesting choice.
You see where I'm going with this, don't you?
I do, yes. More chaos, I suppose.
Always more chaos.
Always. If there's chaos to be had, we can be sure that we are going to have it. Yeah, so you make your way up the stairs. Pepper, you are also making your way up the stairs from the other side.
Yeah, different
Um,
stairs.
Both of you are able to make it to the top of the staircase without incident. And when you make it to the tops of your respective staircases, you are now facing each other.
Just imagine Nick, climbing the stairs and being like, all right, well, at least I got, away from that pesky Pepper. But then turning the corner and being like, well, shit.
Fuck.
What do we see aside from each
Yeah.
other?
So there's that little tiny landing that you're on now. Kind of like a longer stretch from one side to the other where the two staircases meet up. And then there's another door in the middle of that stretch.
So, one door.
One door. Yeah,
Okay.
just one door.
So, Pepper walks over and put like pointedly as opposed to like just opening it or anything, she does put an ear against the door to see what she hears.
Roll awareness for me. And while you do that,
I got an 18 again.
sweet.
18 plus my number. Awareness, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, that is 26.
26. So yeah, you make your way down this little stretch of hallway to the door that's in the middle of it. This hallway, despite not having really much in it, it's still quite decorated, still quite beautiful, matches the whole bar aesthetic that was on the go downstairs. There are some paintings on the walls that are just like, beautiful vistas and landscapes and things like that. Maybe like a view of the ocean, or there might even be like a picture of the lighthouse above the ocean, just peeking out of the ocean there. And then some what used to be like potted plants, but now seem to have wilted a little bit. They're not as cared for. But you get to the middle of this stretch, and you stop on the little lip there before the door. You press your ear against the door, and you hear faint music somewhere in the distance. It's not very loud. It's probably, I would say, classical music, something very mellow and chill sounding. But that's it. You don't hear anything else, just music.
So she she listens, looks up, kind of like waves, Sid and Niklaus over to listen as well. Like, here, you listen. What do you think?
So she's asking for a second opinion.
Yes,
Okay.
like, should we go forward? Should we kick down the door? Like, what's the plan, basically?
You know, there is an alternative to kicking down the door. You can-
Right.
You
We
can
could,
see if the doorknob is open.
Oh, I suppose you could do that. I was gonna say we could pull the pins out of the hinges and just pull it right out, but
Yeah,
You know what? That's also a very valid option. You know, I can always count on you guys to come up with something colorful, innovative, and very difficult. Why don't you just check the fucking doorknob?
No, well, that's not the plan right now. The plan right now is I'm going to let Niklaus hear the music and decide,
Yes.
like, hey, is it safe to go forward?
So Nick, for you, an awareness as well, and I'll do one
Okay.
for Sydney as well.
Okay. What's my awareness? So that was 16. I can throw a d6 on that if I need to.
You can.
I'll just go ahead and do one.
Yeah, go ahead if you want to. That's fine.
Make it easier
Uh,
on
it's a
Vanessa, at
22.
least.
It's a 22.
Total.
Okay, so you and Sid are both sitting at the same spot in that case. You press your ear to the door, and you do indeed hear faint classical music in the distance. It sounds like it's decently far away. There's nothing strange about it, and you don't hear any voices accompanying it. There's not really any ambient sounds at all. From anything beyond this door. It's just the music.
Okay. Nick will very slowly turn the doorknob, kind of feeling for if there's any resistance, like is it locked, turning it really slow so it doesn't make noise. And if there's no resistance or anything, we'll just very slowly crack the door open a little bit to look inside.
You hit a tripwire and a grenade is pulled and it explodes and you all die.
Oh no!
Oh, no! And that's where we end Exodus. No, I'm kidding. There's more to be done, friends. There is no resistance. There is no tripwire. You are able to gently push this door open and step through the door if you would so desire.
Yeah. We'll sneak in and look around.
So you step through this door and you find yourself in a room that is relatively the size of the bar room that's downstairs. So it's a direct mirror upstairs of the layout that was downstairs. So there's that little section of the bar room,
Gotcha.
or what would be the bar room downstairs. Then the little hallway at the end of the room, which you can see then opens up to a larger room beyond as well. So just the same as downstairs. You can see a vent up here as well that's similar to the one downstairs. It's still got that ornate design on it. It almost looks like the design around the circular opening almost looks like a sun, like the rays coming off the sun. And it seems to be relatively in good shape as well. It's nice and polished. But this room itself, it doesn't look like it's used for really anything in particular. It's not a bar room or anything like that. There's some chairs, like some cushioned love seats and things like that. But other than that, like it doesn't, it seems more of like a reception area or a lounge type thing than anything else. It smells faintly of like cigar smoke from the years and things like that. So there's not really anything here. But it's clear, and there doesn't seem to be any cameras or anything like that in this room here.
And doors?
Okay.
Was there a door?
There's like the little hallway at the end, like the one downstairs that connected the two rooms.
Okay.
So it's got that little hall again.
It's got a hallway. Okay.
And there's no like desk or anything like that, or
Not
wall
in this
safe
section.
or- Okay.
Nope,
Um.
not that you can see.
Then yeah. Nick will start heading towards the hallway.
Because yeah, I don't. There's not really any other option. So one of the things though that Pepper actually does as they approach the hallway, because are they can Pepper gauge if like they're directly above where the brothers plus Bambi and Vixen are? Like, are they just above them or?
Yeah, so from what you can tell, the layout upstairs is directly proportionate to the way the rooms are split up downstairs. So that little hallway would have been where the hallway downstairs into the burn room was. So yeah, once you come out into this room after crossing through the little threshold, once you get into that room, you can be fairly certain that they are directly below you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, then she is going to make a point of like being very light on her feet, like to the point where she's like on her like the balls of her feet. It's very much like reminiscent of like stalking prey, almost like you're
Like
sneaking
the
through the
Pink
jungle.
Panther?
No, not that extreme, but like
I wish I could play that music so much.
I know, right? But yeah, she's very very like light on her feet, like head down, as if like she's stalking prey or things like that. If she had like a bow and arrow, you could like totally see that, especially. But she doesn't. So.
Yeah, you guys can roll awareness for me if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If we'd like. Okay, 21.
18 plus 8, so 26.
26. And what'd you say, Rowan?
21.
26 and 21. Yeah, you all see it. So it wasn't directly placed in front of the doorway because it was angled to the side. But as you make your way towards the entrance, you see the red light of the camera, similar to the one downstairs, sweep its way across and stop in front of the door for a moment before sweeping all the way to the right again. So it does that periodically where it'll sweep, stay in the middle, sweep, stay to the side,
So
sweep back to the middle. Yeah.
So it's got an eye on the door in particular.
Yeah. So anything that comes in and out will be able to see. The camera will be able to see. But lucky for you guys, Sid taps you on the shoulder, Niklaus, and offers over the hack tool, the gun, the little hack gun.
Oh, she wants me to use it?
You can tell it would be accuracy first.
Okay.
Or you can tell her to do it.
Actually,
I
not too bad.
wouldn't.
I was thinking this was going to be Tinker, and I'm like, oh, I am terrible at that. I've got a 9 in accuracy. Okay, no pun intended, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, you see, Sid has a 4 in accuracy, so.
Okay.
I've got a big number in accuracy if you're not feeling confident.
I'm just gonna use a crit on this.
Okay, fine. I guess.
Sure.
I rolled a 3.
Oh. Yeah.
Let's just make that a 29.
Sweet. So yeah, you're able to take this hack gun from Sid and kind of stand in the doorway just so that your body is just out of sight of where that sweep happens, so that you can kind of lean out a little bit, angle the gun up towards the camera, and shoot the hack tool at it. So here's where the fun part comes in. I'm going to get you to roll hacking for me.
Oh no.
So you are aiming to get over 15 three
Okay.
times, but you have
Oh,
5 rolls
God.
to do it. 5 rolls to do it. You can do it.
Okay, 17.
Okay.
That is 8 plus 7 is exactly 15. Okay.
Perfect.
Get a nat 1.
That's fine.
Okay.
This is fine.
Then 16 plus 7. That's
Yeah. Okay. You're
20 something.
good. I didn't particularly plan for the nat 1 in the hacking itself. So I'm not going to
Okay.
be that mean to you. Yeah.
Yay!
I'm not going to do that. I feel like depending on who's using the hack tool, getting the 15 is fine enough. So you just need to get 3 of them. That's all. That was the
Okay,
only. Yeah, that was the only rule that I had written down, so I won't penalize you for something that I didn't think about.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, perhaps next time I might not be so nice, but for this one, because, I have a baby GM brain, and I didn't think about the possibility of a nat 1 in those rolls.
Failure.
So, yeah, I'll leave the failure to
Thank you
whether or not
for-
you can successfully use the rolls.
Thank you for being nicer than I am. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because we all know that if this were flipped, you would absolutely destroy my ass with that.
Oh, yeah. It's security,
Yeah.
guns, alarms. Yeah, that would have been a whole thing.
Well, I mean, I could go ahead and use the nat 1 if you'd like. It's
No,
personal
it's perfectly
preference.
fine.
Are you sure?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're comfortable with taking the win and not complaining about it, then
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it.
okay.
Thank you, benevolent
this-
GM.
The first one's on the house. Next time I won't be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so you roll over 15 3 times. That's perfect. The camera kind of stutters a little bit as it's swinging, so it makes it sweep to the side. And you see the light kind of stutter a little bit, and then it turns green and continues to do its sweeps back and forth. So now you are able to successfully pass through it.
Yay. Yeah, I think that is what we'll do. Do we hear anything from downstairs? 'Cause also I don't want to hog all the screen time from Bambi.
Yeah, no worries. So it's probably only been, I'd say, like a minute or 2 since you guys got from the downstairs area to the upstairs. So it hasn't been long for Bambi and Vixen downstairs, since Samson kind of clued into whatever was happening and tilted his head. But then Bambi, you said you continued to ramble on with whatever conversation it was, right?
Yep. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, she's just like, well, what are you guys doing today? Like, can we be a part of it? Like, oh, I just love to hear about your life. Like, you guys are my favorite. And oh my God, you're so hot. Dumb shit like that.
So Xavier seems to eat that shit up. Like, he's kind of standing there like, yes, like I have the upper hand. I'm the one who has you locked in my arm. Like, praise us, do whatever you gotta do. Like, I love to hear it. He's almost like a preening bird, kind of like, like, yes, ma'am. Vixen, on the other hand, is a little quieter. She's letting Bambi speak. So not to like divide their attention or anything like that. She's just letting it happen organically, so that she doesn't accidentally throw a wrench into it or anything. But Bambi, as you continue to talk and like Xavier seems to be eating all of that up, after about a minute, after Samson has kind of rested back into his relaxed stance and take another drag on his cigarette, you notice that he starts to move. And it's very, very slowly, and it's kind of like a little mosey, as if someone is just absent-mindedly moving as they're listening to something happen, or it's not an aggressive type of movement or anything, but he's starting to slowly get closer to you and Vixen.
I guess that would kind of put alarm bells up, but at the same time, no. She's more of like proximity alert, but it's Samson. Samson's okay, right? Samson's okay, right? Is kind of like the passive thoughts going through her head. And as he's kind of like probably taken what would be like 2 or 3 moseying steps, she'd make intentional eye contact with him and flash like the cutest, sweetest smile, but not like her when she smiles at Xavier, which is kind of like that, haha, I'll do whatever you tell me to, because it's more of like a genuine like friendly smile, like, hey, I like you.
Oh,
What's
you
up?
poor sweet summer child.
I know, she's gonna be so fond.
Oh my god. And I hate to be so mean to her too. Like she just sets herself up for heartbreak, honestly.
She does.
So
it's tragedy.
Yeah. While she's talking and Xavier is kind of like listening to her or whatever, you see Samson start to take those steps forward, and it's a very like calm and non-aggressive kind of movement. Xavier seems to notice it as well, and he kind of leans back nonchalantly, puts another arm across Vixen's shoulders again, and leans away from you, Bambi, kind of snuggling up to Vixen a little bit more as he watches his brother approach. And Samson takes another couple steps until he's very, very close to Bambi before stopping, and drops the cigarette on the ground and uses the tip of his shoe to gently twist it into the floor, which in and of itself might have at one point gotten him in trouble because he's like smushing this cigarette into a nice floor. But he puts this slow smile, like the slow smile just starts to stretch across his face. And he leans down, he's a fairly tall dude. So he bends over with this smile until his face is decently close to Bambi's. And he darts his eyes over to Vixen and then back to Bambi. And he says with a tone of voice that is clearly full of false, what's the best way to put this? He sounds almost too sweet, I guess. Like he's being too friendly. And he's just like,
sweet.
yeah, very much so. And with that smile, he just leans in. He says, Bambi, I'm rather proud of you for putting all of your issues aside and deciding to be friends with Vixen, even after everything that she's done to you and taken from you, really. I must really just commend you for your ability to put all of that behind you. You're such a good person. And you can smell the cigarette smoke off of him as he leans into your space and says this.
Bambi tries to just roll with it, but there's like, when you knock somebody down a couple of pegs, they lose that light in the back of their eyes. That's Bambi right now, and she's trying real hard, and like her eyes have gotten all glassy, but she hasn't cried yet. And she just says, I am so glad you're proud of me. That's all I've ever wanted. And like, but there's like she has a little bit of venom at the edge of it because she can't help but be absolutely angry. And not necessarily at them, but absolutely angry, period.
So in your opinion, do you think that now would be a good time for a resistance roll?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Damn it! I was hoping you were gonna ask because the answer is yes. Okay.
I mean, you could say no to me, and I'll take your word for it if Bambi's not that riled up.
I am so much a character player, I can't even pretend.
And you know what? Yes, that's what I love the most about playing games with you is I know you're going to be true to the character.
You know,
which is exactly why I did what I did, and I'm not sorry about it.
you know, V, the way you said that had all the same energy of, well, what do you think your punishment should be?
All right.
You're not wrong.
You're right, though. You're right.
It's a 15.
If parents get this much joy from asking that question, then yes, absolutely.
Wait, can I add a d6?
You certainly can.
Okay, hold on.
Oh my god.
Let me roll this. Where is my d6s? I haven't.
Oh boy. I genuinely got more pleasure from that than I thought I would.
Okay, now it's a 16.
16. Hold on. Let me just double check what the threshold is supposed to be. Do you remember? Yes.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
No, you know what? I'm the one who should be sorry because I wrote the damn rules. Plasmids. Let's see. Imagine writing the rule book and then forgetting.
I mean,
is
I
that
get
some
it.
sort of like personal attack there, V?
Oh, good. So it's not just me.
No, I do that all the time. It's why I have
Okay.
my own game book right next to me because I can't remember what I wrote.
I didn't put it in the plasmid section. I'm
I don't
pretty
remember
sure.
the specific number that it was before.
I'm pretty sure that puts it over. I think you're good.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
God.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's always been higher than a 15.
Okay. It's a good thing because Bambi probably would have tried to murder Vixen with her heels.
Oh no. Because it's a side effect of cane consumption, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it would have been a 10 or over. So
Okay.
I'm actually gonna give you back that d6 because that was fine to begin with. Don't worry about wasting a d6.
All right.
So Raven, if you took that off the counter, could you please put that back on?
Yeah.
Because that was entirely my fault. You passed it the first place, so I won't take a d6 on you. So on a 1 to 10, this side effect manifests, and on an 11 to 20, it doesn't, which is what we typically did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sweet.
so you're good. Do you want to kind of play out how does that experience manifest for Bambi? The anger and then
It probably comes across as like a blush, like she's absolutely flushed all the way to her ear tips, kind of thing. And she takes it like she has to like work through it, like, and let it go, and like the blush fades as like the desire for violence fades.
while she's taking a minute to kind of collect herself, Vixen speaks up. as she looks over to Samson, because she knows what he's doing. She knows he's trying to play on that, because she's seen it happen. She knows that that she's gotten the same rise out of Bambi by doing the exact same thing. So she knows the difference. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows that one button to push, and they're like, we're going to push it until we can't push it anymore. So she recognizes what's happening. And while Bambi is trying to collect herself, Vixen speaks up and she laughs and she goes, you know what, Samson, you're absolutely right. It was extremely gracious for Bambi to put aside what feelings she had, and to rekindle this relationship that we have. So yeah, hats off to Bambi for showing the restraint that she has. She's been lovely to have so far. And you can hear that last part is a little strained because it's a lie.
She's trying so hard.
Bambi is in fact not been a joy to have in class.
Oh no. Bambi's a downright menace. She's like the rich kid on the kindergarten playground.
Absolutely. And as Vixen says this and Bambi's blush kind of leaves her face a little bit, Samson leans just ever so slightly closer to Bambi so that his face is only like a couple of inches from hers. And he laughs, but it's just like a very low, breathy kind of chuckle. And that smell of cigarettes is very much stronger as it kind of like brushes past Bambi's face. And then he straightens back up, takes a few steps backwards, takes out another cigarette and lights it up. Sticks it in his mouth. Yaz, you would be a big fat liar if you said you weren't enjoying it.
I enjoy every second of it. You're playing them amazingly. Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Totally fair.
Bambi. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but for now they still don't show any indication of going back to the room. So it seems like the conversation is working decently enough. They're not moving anywhere. Samson doesn't take too many steps back or anything like that. It's just to put some distance between him and Bambi. And of course, Xavier is fucking tits up. He doesn't know what's going on anywhere.
You know, it's so interesting how easily Savoy could have been a villain.
Absolutely.
I like
and
it.
you know, that's exactly the type of vibe that I was like, I want Savoy and Sahil to be on the villain side here. Like, I need that in my life.
In Tickfall, Savoy was the local mob boss.
It's
true.
A bunch of villains.
But ended up being a good guy in the end. It's
I was so prepared to play them as like the deviant assholes that were going to derail and get everybody fucked up. So
I'd say Savoy's like an anti-hero in that world.
Absolutely. All right. So the boys downstairs, Samson and Sahil. Oh my goodness. Wrong game, Vanessa. Come on. Amateur hour here. Savoy and Sahil downstairs are fine. They're not doing anything wrong. and Pepper and Sid and Nick are upstairs. You guys are in the main room. And you can hear classical music playing in the distance. There doesn't seem to be any other sort of ambient noise other than that. And this room that you're in is fairly quiet. There's no splicers waiting for you, thankfully. And you can proceed in whichever direction you would like to do after we come back from a break, perhaps.
All right, awesome. We're going to take a 15-minute break. So go hydrate, stretch your legs, grab some snacks. Be back in 15 minutes, and we'll find out if this heist continues to go as well as it has been, or if it suddenly goes horribly wrong, which is what I'm thinking is going to happen. So we'll be right back. back for this heist.
Right. During the break, we were using ridiculous comparisons to describe what spoons are. So that's where we are mentally.
Yep. I said it's like a mouth shovel.
And I followed up with, think of a garden space.
But for your mouth.
Yeah. We always have interesting conversations during the break. So honestly, you know.
It's not a bad thing.
Excuse you. Anyway, so yes, you guys are now on the top floor, making your way towards this classical music that you've been hearing through the door. The layout of this particular section is similar to the main lobby downstairs. It's a wide open space, but there are doors on either side of this space, similarly to the way the downstairs was set up. But I didn't tell you there were doors because last time I told you there were doors, Klaus had to go beat a man to death. So I didn't tell you about those doors downstairs. There might be doors downstairs. Yeah, there might be doors downstairs, but those were not important. These ones, however, there are doors on either side of this room that you could check out should you so choose to.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
So Pepper actually goes towards the music. She gets the feeling that wherever this music leads, where John Castillo is, and wherever John Castillo might be, that might be probably where the cards are.
That is indeed a good assumption. Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of where her brain is at. Not that she necessarily voices that out loud, but you know, she heads in that direction.
Okay. I feel like Nick is starting to feel, some stress here with the situation. Things are starting to get a little bit more intense. There's weird music playing, so I'm gonna see how he's doing.
Sure.
Not well.
Oh no. It did not go well.
So
Yep.
are we dealing with Nicky Boy or are we dealing with Klaus?
Oh, it's Klaus. So yes,
I
Klaus.
see.
Nick was gonna go away from the noise because music means people, and we're trying to be sneaky. Music means people, which means more chaos. So that's where Klaus is heading. So Klaus is right behind Pepper, giggling. He's giddy.
So he's
Right behind
giggling, and Pepper goes, shh.
Klaus turns around to no one behind him, unless Sid's there. I'm not sure where Sid is in this line, but I like to think that there's nobody behind him and just goes, shh.
Sid from the other side of you looks behind to see who you're shushing, and like looks over both of her shoulders like, what the fuck?
Because let's face it, Klaus is a cartoon character.
Oh yeah, he really is.
I'm really uncomfortable with how much I relate to Klaus on some days.
Listen, Klaus would be an absolutely fine lad if he wasn't, trying to murder everybody. So I've got less of a problem with him being erratic and, entertaining, and more with the fact that he's using those skills for evil. So.
That's valid.
So yeah, you guys are focusing on this music then. And it is coming from, so if you are coming through the door and facing this main area, it's coming from what you can tell, the back left-hand corner. There's a door down towards that area, and that seems to be where the noise is coming from.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Pepper is gonna head that way, I would assume, but be very, very sneaky, and just keep on like casting a look back at Klaus. Like, don't you? Because she knows the difference now. Obviously, all of them do.
It's very noticeable.
Like,
'cause Klaus
don't you fucking don't do it. Don't
Klaus
fuck
is
this
also sneaking, but he's tiptoeing like a cartoon character while sneaking.
So like the Pink Panther.
Yep, just like, slowly sliding the leg out, doing the really high step, and then slowly bringing their leg back down.
I imagine that he has his hands, like, his elbows are bent and his hands are, like, cupped in front of him as he does this. You know what I'm talking about? Like the do.
Yep.
Oh, God, I love to hate this man.
Right? Speaking of stealth, I got a 28.
28, yeah, you're perfect. Sid and Pepper as well. You guys can roll for stealth. What is Sid's stealth? Let's see.
my stinking. Whoa! I rolled a nat 20 on my stinky stonky.
Ooh.
My stinky
I'm
stonky.
sorry, on your what?
Sneaky.
Oh, sneaking. I was like, what are you rolling on?
Stinking snonking.
Like, clean your dice pad. Oh my god. I'm with you now.
All right. So you guys are sneaking in. Everybody is doing a great job. As Pepper was kind of nervous of earlier, by being light-footed, not wanting to give any indication that there's movement from upstairs, you perfectly succeed in doing that. The people downstairs are not able to hear anything. It's like there's nobody there. Pepper, you on the other hand, you're so quiet that as you kind of pull ahead of the group a little bit, you can hear the music much more clearly as you're kind of moving very, very quietly towards the door. And you could almost swear that there might be like a small cough from inside, but you're not entirely sure. It sounds like someone clearing their throat as you approach the door.
Okay. So she stops and listens.
After that, sorry, go ahead.
Klaus just very slowly, like a cartoon villain, pulls out the Tommy gun and just like slowly raises it up. Like if it was a TV show, it would like slowly come from the bottom of the frame up until it's like right in front of his face.
There was an episode of My Hero Academia that came out not too long ago where Deku pulls a book out from behind him, and it's got all like the hero stats in it, but there's no indication that that book was in any of the pockets, and one of the characters behind him goes, "Where did he pull that from?" I feel like this is it's kind of one of those.
Yeah,
just, like,
absolutely.
Suddenly Klaus has a gun and everyone's like, where the hell did that come from?
Sounds about right.
Oh gosh, I love it. I'm so glad Anastasia's not here.
Oh my god, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, no, she would definitely rain on his parade and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, so Pepper, for you, you listen closely. It doesn't seem like the sound repeats itself. You can still hear the record playing from inside the room, but that's it.
Can I that's not perception, it's awareness.
Awareness?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could give it a try.
So what I think she's gonna do is there cracks in the doors, like the bottom or the top, the side slit? Is there a crack in the door? Can she peek in?
Evens or odds?
I'm always gonna say odds. I'm just gonna tell you this now.
Oh, there we go. Odds. Okay. Yeah, the door is slightly cracked. Once you get close enough, you can see that it's not fully latched. It wasn't closed all the way, so there's about an inch of space that you're
Perfect.
able to kind of peek in there. Whenever you ask me a question and I'm unsure if that would be the thing, I'm always just gonna be like, you know what? Evens or odds.
All right. So she does look through. I'm gonna roll awareness.
Sure.
Can I roll something? I got that one, you guys.
We do have 2
Ooh.
crits.
Can I take one of those crits if you don't mind?
I'm totally okay with that.
Because that was a nat 1, my dude. So she'd be like, nope, it's all good. Walks right in. Because it's Pepper. So I'm actually
mean-
trying to prevent my character from being absolutely bonking stupid.
I mean, it really depends. Like, if you want to use the crit, that's totally fine. If you want to choose chaos, go for it, and I got your back.
Yeah,
Chaos,
it
chaos.
absolutely depends on what story element you're going for.
No, I want Pepper to actually look like she can actually be good at this.
That's fair.
Maybe a little bit, because like if she was in her right mind, not that she ever is, she could be good at this, but she isn't. So let's prevent her from not being in her right mind by being so good she can't fuck up. Anyways.
It's always the worst when you have this like idea of what your character should be and like what their skills and abilities are, and then suddenly the dice just start rolling stupid bad for you, and you're like, this goes completely against the character that I know she is.
Well, that's the thing, is it isn't against her character, but I know that she's going to be stupid if she doesn't, see anything. That's the thing. Like she did with the door earlier with the whole like, oh, no one's on the other side, so I'm gonna open it up. Like, no worries.
All right, you're using a crit, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, on awareness. So you come in closer to this door, and it's cracked open about an inch of space. So you're able to kind of slide right up to there, see as much as you can see through that little slit. The room beyond seems to be a small office area. So you can see near the back of the room, there's a large, heavy-set kind of solid wood desk, and it's got papers and things stacked on the top of it. There's a large chair that sits behind it as well, but the back of the chair is turned towards the desk, so you can't see if it's empty or not. It's completely turned around. To the left-hand side, there's a record player, and that seems to be where the music is coming from. So that's drifting out through the crack in the door. Other than that, from what you can see, there's nobody like visibly standing anywhere from what you can see through that little crack, that little sliver of line of sight that you have. There doesn't seem to be anybody there. You can see that the decoration of the room is quite similar to the way the bar was decorated, and then the little stretch of hallway where the top of the stairs was. So it's very like extravagant, nicely carpeted. There are artworks hung on the wall. There's some greenery in there. There's some plants and things. But from what you can see, you don't really lock on to any one person in particular. There's nobody visible. Just
I
the
have an
sound of
important
the.
question for you.
Sure.
Is there a rat or a bug in the room?
Rat or a bug?
Don't forget you can make bugs.
I know that, but if there's one already available, why not use that?
Evens or odds, I guess.
Odds.
Odds. It's evens. There is not.
Okay. Well then, I am going to do that second option, which requires me to use 2 of my cane all at once here. One to summon the bug and the other one to see through its eyes. So I'm probably gonna have to roll something, huh?
Mm-hmm.
A resistance.
All right, and then let's just see the details on your plasmid for a moment.
Okay, because I have man's best friend and I have swarm.
Swarm.
My
Yep.
my king consumption side effects is hallucinations, which specifically is lycanthropic intermetamorphosis, which is she sees people around her as animals, especially threats.
Mhm.
She may not fully understand them. Instead, hearing animal noises, she will have full-on disassociation, where the world around her becomes a jungle or something else. She just disassociates with the situation. And then she also has bleeding.
Yeah. What are
bleed
the
from the
counts
nose.
on your plasmids? How many uses of each do you have left?
Right now I think didn't I have more of man's best friend now? Because I had max uses 4 before. But she hasn't used her plasmids in a while, so she's
Yeah,
got
so
full.
Yeah, in that case, don't worry about the side effects for right now. That's more so if you're like constantly chugging through your plasmids and having
Okay.
to replenish them constantly. So because you haven't used them in a while, and the only one that you've been using anyway is man's best friend, and it's been pretty
Oh, yeah.
sparingly, then
This is
I wouldn't
like,
worry about it.
aside from the time that she practiced, this is the first time she is using this one.
Yeah. Now, the only thing about Swarm is that it allows the user to manifest a swarm of bugs, not just a singular bug.
However, I can send one in.
That is
The rest
true.
will be around me.
Yes. So, yep, you. The details that I have in on Swarm are for combat. So let's just see.
Also, I do have to note, as soon as there's a swarm of things around Pepper, Klaus is going to lean in and be like, "Do you feel all right? It looks like you've caught a bug."
God damn it.
He's like, no. If when he says that, she's like, they're moths actually. Like, moths are not bugs.
Moths, bugs, tomato. Who's to say which one is correct?
I'm assuming he's whispering.
Yeah, he is. I just can't really whisper into that voice very well.
It would be really funny to hear you try though.
I would prefer not to destroy my throat.
Tomato.
Okay, so yeah, the indications here on the plasmid itself are only applicable to combat. So I don't think you're gonna need to roll anything to manifest them. It's just a use of your plasmid.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Because if you were to like aim it at somebody, then it would involve accuracy and the aggression of the bugs and things like that. But we're not
So,
doing that.
like-
We're just
like
making
how-
bugs appear.
Man's best friend, it really doesn't, like, I really don't have to focus or anything if I'm using my dogs.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So yeah, no, she just makes these tiny moths appear. They're pretty small. I would say altogether the size of like about the size of a thumbnail, maybe a little bigger. And they look like little leaves. They are called Calyptra. They are blood-sucking moths. And yeah, so they start appearing around her, and she focuses and picks one. Since I summon them, do I have to roll to control one? Because they're
That's what I was thinking. I can't remember what I asked you to roll. Remember when you used the rat when we were in the...
so with the rat. Yes, I had to roll for specifically the rat. I think it was 10 and up, like half or half. But these are coming from her. They're her bugs. So, which she could control in combat anyways.
Could call it accuracy to accurately tell them where to go.
Maybe.
Yeah, my thinking is kind of like with the swarm responds en masse, like it's an entire thing. You use Let me see. Yeah, so when you target somebody with a swarm, you would use accuracy. And then the target would have to roll against it to see if they're able to kind of avoid the brunt of it. And then it says if the user doesn't land the accuracy roll, then the swarm remains around them like a barricade. So it's not.
So would I use it?
It's not a finesse move when you use the swarm, but in this particular case, you're trying to finesse a single bug and use it very specifically.
Man's best friend to do so. So I'm using my plasmids.
Yeah, so in that case, because you're just using one singular bug, and it's not the plasmid en masse like you would be with your accuracy roll, you'll have to kind of focus harder on that to apply man's best friend to it.
So should I use what should I use for that? Accuracy, like we would with the bugs, or
for the rat, did we just do a D20? Was it 10 and above, or 1 to 10 and 11 to 20?
It could have been a skillfulness. It could have been.
Yeah, I'll get you to do skillfulness. That's fine.
Skillfulness.
Just because it's a matter of like honing in on one singular thing. So yeah, skillfulness is fine.
22.
A 22, yes.
Okay.
We're able to focus in on one bug for about, I would say, a minute or two.
Okay. So she's gonna hone in on this tiny bug, like the size of a thumbnail, and slip in that inch wide crack, keeping, relatively low. And it wants to see around, get a better view, and see probably what's behind that chair, or the chair rolled around. And specifically, the things she's looking for are cards, since they're looking for the cards. And to see if, there's somebody in there, because she's pretty certain there is, even if it doesn't look like it right away. Mostly because she's paranoid as fuck.
So I will get you to roll awareness for me, because this is a very tiny little moth, just an insignificant little bug, and I don't think it has very good investigation skills. So
that's enough. My dice are in my favor.
I will open my mouth and insert my foot in there. Just 1 second. Spoke too soon. So yeah, you're able to pinpoint this bug and fly it into the room. In terms of looking around to see if there are any cards laying around, you do not see anything. The majority of the papers and things on the desk just look like regular papers. There's nothing smaller. There's no lock boxes or anything like that atop any of the furniture. It just seems to be normal paper. That being said, the desk itself does have drawers on either side, from like the side that you would sit on. So one on the left and one on the right, and then they have so it's the larger kind of spot on the bottom and then a drawer on the top, and they have the little keyhole for the lock in them. So you assume that you would be able to insert a key and then open them up. So there's 2 of those on either side of this large wooden desk. The moth is able to fly around and see that, yes, there is indeed a man sitting in the chair.
Okay.
The man doesn't look particularly familiar to you. There would have not really been any certain occasion where you have crossed paths. Oh my goodness, crossed paths. Apparently, it's probably not. He might have known your grandfather at one point, but there would have been no situations in which your grandfather would So if that's the case, then no, you haven't really seen this man before.
Yeah. I mean, when he was older, like when he was sick, like Pepper did start picking up his work and just investing and working with investment stuff, but I don't think John Castillo was doing anything crazy that required an investment. I don't
Yeah.
think.
No.
But so yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think she recognizes him, but there is but she can probably infer. Regardless, what she does is she takes Klaus's like wrist and actually heads to the other door. So like, let's get out of here so we can talk and discuss. Because she's like, there's a person in there, there's locked drawers where there could be something very important.
Don't
We
tell
need
him
to
too
discuss.
much information.
Would you say yes?
Don't tell him too much information.
All right. So yeah, Klaus, Pepper is
Yeah.
trying to lead you to another door now.
That other door.
Okay. Has Pepper explained that there's a person in there or anything?
I don't think so. She's just like grabs hand, big eyes. Like, let's go over here to talk.
Yeah, I think Klaus does that whole, like, slowly looks down and looks at your hand upon his person.
Just like tugging you to follow him.
It kind of gives you that look of, like, you want to reconsider touching? Do you want to keep that hand? You kind of look on his face.
The two people that don't want to be touched.
I know,
Pepper's
right?
like, fine. Pepper instead like grabs your shirt, your suit sleeve instead, and tugs, and it's like, come on.
Similar reaction, but actually that will get him to follow. Like, where are we going and why are we leaving that door?
There's somebody in there.
Well, then let's just go shoot them.
Oh. If you do, Bambi won't be happy, and if Bambi's not happy, then you and Nick Klaus are not happy.
I think you're grossly overestimating my attachment to Bambi.
You liked it when she gave you the crazy juice that made you go crazy and kill people, so
Yeah, she did. Sorry.
What was the crazy juice?
when Bambi
this?
completely lost it in the apiary.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Klaus is just like, but yes, but I'm just saying, if it comes down to Bambi might be slightly upset, and I get to kill someone.
Well, we can be smart about it, cause there's also more people here.
All right, tell you what, I will give you 60 seconds to come up with a different plan. And Klaus
Well, she's
pulls
going-
his sleeve up, which he's not wearing a watch, and just stares at his wrist.
So, well, she's like, okay, here's what I think is we hide in this room, and she points at the other door that she's been trying to lead him to.
Mhm.
We hide in this room. I cause noise and get him out of the room, and we can get the locked drawers open and find the key cards, because I think they're in those the locked drawers. There's locked drawers.
All right, I suppose that could work. So you make a distraction, goes chasing after you, and then I go in and I get the stuff.
Well, I was thinking the dogs or the bugs could cause a distraction, and then we can divide and conquer with the drawers.
Yes,
So are you
that
guys
works fine, too.
inside the door now? Are you in, like, have you ducked into another room, or are you just still out
Yeah, I
in that
think so.
open kind of
I
lobby area?
Yeah, I
in
think
the other room, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of a
If you wanna
walking
roll
and whispering
awareness
kind of
for
a
me?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
Okay.
of you roll awareness.
Okay.
Awareness.
22.
19.
No, you don't. It doesn't sound like anybody is coming out of the door. It doesn't sound like there's any movement from inside the room. You guys are good.
Okay. Okay. So let's hide in here. Make sure we're behind the closed door, and then I'll do the thing.
Right. All right. Yeah, I can't whisper with this voice.
And then
Yeah, do the thing. Yeah, do the thing.
Pull the lever, Krunk.
so yeah, the other door. What's behind the other door? Because you said there was 2 doors.
There
just
seem to be
one?
like a couple of smaller rooms off the main room.
Okay.
So
But
we're,
yeah,
we're 2
the-
doors down. Is there kryptonite here?
No.
There's nothing in the room that you're in. It seems like this office space that the person is in is the only room that's occupied at the moment.
And the one that's clearly important. So, yes, I know exactly. So, Pepper's going to use another man's best friend, which
Okay.
probably I'm going to say right off that, yeah, she starts bleeding. Like, her nose starts bleeding because she's using it. She used 3
Okay.
things. So, I'm on the wrong.
Mouse over here, just like you've got red on you. I feel like that's gonna be a thing later, but it's not yet. I don't know.
So, okay. We'll just briefly leave you guys to trying to manifest your plasma there. From the downstairs area, Bambi, how are you holding up after that little spat that Samson caused?
She's doing she's feeling a little confident, a little more normal now that she is let like that bout of anger past her and she overcame it anyways. And Bambi could literally yammer on for hours. But there is a part in Bambi's mind that's like, she really wants to go see Johnny if Johnny's in, kind of thing. But like, is she even going to get to see Johnny? Would they let her see Johnny? She's got no idea. She doesn't know if it's the appropriate time to be indulgent.
It's actually really, really funny that you say that because Xavier has since taken his arms off the 2 of you ladies, and does that thing where he like circles around you, almost like he did the first time that you guys met over in the fisheries, where he's just circling like a predator. Checking out his prey.
Vulture.
So yeah, like a vulture. Like a bird of prey, perhaps. We love our bird boy here in this house. But yeah, he's kind of doing a little circle, and Vixen has kind of struck a very nonchalant set to her body, and she's got like the shotgun on her back. She's got like a little strap that she's got it on her back.
Yeah.
But she doesn't make any move to like reach for it or touch it, or her hands are very visible. But as Xavier kind of does another circle and like weaves in between the 2 of you, he leans into you, Bambi, like tilting his head down as if he's gonna rest it on your shoulder. And he takes a moment to kind of like imitate the way you bat your eyelashes, but it's very much in a mocking way. Clearly this man is not trying to bat his eyelashes at you and like make you fawn over him. It's very very much a dig. So he like leans his head down and bats his eyelashes and says, Bambi, I think John might really love to see you. What do you think about following us upstairs to go say hi?
player is like, oh god, red flags, warning. Bambi's like eyes light up, and like she still has it pretty bad for Johnny. She's all over it. She's like, yes. It looks at Vixen and looks back at them. Yes.
Vixen hears you say this and she's like, oh fuck, here we go. She like circles around Xavier and puts her hand on your shoulder and squeezes. And her nails, as I previously said, her nails are very long and they're very much painted like a bright red. She digs them into your skin so that it hurts.
Oh, Bambi makes like she tries really hard not to whimper, but it's clear that she's probably whimpering, and her smile just sort of like peters away, and she's just like, yeah, I mean, I really, really want to see Johnny, but we got this thing that we're doing. And I mean, we were in town or in the neck of the woods and wanted to see you guys, but you know, Johnny just takes so much of my time. It's probably not a great idea. I mean, I might be here all night long.
Oh my god.
So kind of before you say that, as you start to whimper, Vixen tries to cover it up with like a laugh. And it's like a very low, throaty kind of laugh towards Xavier to kind of like cover up that sound. And then Bambi says that, and Xavier's actually the one that starts laughing. When you say, it takes up so much of my time, you get a nice hearty laugh from Xavier, who thinks that's just one of the funniest things ever. And then Samson doesn't say anything, but you can kind of see in like the look in his eyes, he thinks that it's quite amusing. Whether or not it's at your expense is another question.
That's fair. I feel like anytime the brothers are laughing, it's at Bambi's expense. She just doesn't always know it. Poor Bambi.
Pretty much. I feel like their relationship is the kind where it's like, no, we're laughing with you. And then they turn around and look at the camera and shake their head just a little bit.
Yes, sitcom style.
So yeah, Bambi says like, like we were just in this neck of the woods, thought we might stop by. And then Vixen's like, digging her nails into Bambi's shoulder, but she stops and continues to loop around the same way Xavier was, to make it look like she wasn't just over here to stop Bambi from talking. So it's like an idle walk back to his other side. All right, so Pepper, did you roll for your plasmid?
What did I have to roll for my plasmid? Specifically because it's the dogs.
Oh, it's the dogs. Okay, never mind. No, you don't have to roll anything for that. So what are you doing with your dogs?
So, well, first off, she kind of pauses to listen on this conversation when they're like, do you want to go up and see John Castillo? And she's like, wait, that would be a great distraction. And then she goes, oh, no, never mind. And I'm like, and she's like, no. Darn it. So she goes back to her other plan, which is the dogs suddenly start losing their shit. They just start barking and making a lot of noise.
Bork, bork, bork.
Yeah, so basically the whole idea is like, what is that ruckus? Why are there dogs here? And she's hoping that will draw John Castillo, she assumes, out of the room.
This is another instance of like, I know what these characters would do in this certain situation, but I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the dogs start barking and they start making a lot of noise. Samson and Xavier, up until this point, haven't really said a whole lot about them just because they haven't been doing anything. But now that they're kind of really being a nuisance, essentially, Xavier, from where he was kind of leaning down towards Bambi, swings around in one motion and pulls a pistol out from the back of his the waistband of his pants and holds it up to one of the dogs. And he looks at Vixen and Bambi, and there's like no change in his demeanor at all. He still seems like that joking kind of facade, but he says, "One of you better shut these fucking dogs up."
Bambi knows that the dogs aren't really going to listen to her, but she's going to like try and like clap her hands over the muzzle and pull the muzzle to her face to be like, no.
Except it's Pepper who's in control.
Yes.
But Bambi doesn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know. What is Vixen's reaction?
It's a good question. I can't remember if we had this conversation, but did you say anything about your ability with your dogs to Vixen?
I would assume so, yeah, because the whole plan was that the dogs were the backup, that they would be, the distraction.
Yeah.
And that, so yeah, probably that to that
in
extent.
That case, yeah. In that case, if Vixen knows that Pepper has this ability, then I would say that she probably treats it as such. I just imagine her going, all right.
Especially since this is so weird out of the blue as well. When the dogs have been perfectly placid before.
I feel like they could have done like any number of just normal dog things and Vixen would have been like, that's my cue.
Yeah.
Like the dog pisses on one of the fountains and she's like, Pepper, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So given the fact that she was ready to kind of take any of this as a sign from Pepper, she... what is Alex doing in the chat? I don't like the look at that. I don't like that. Vixen turns around. Is it both of the dogs that are barking?
Yes.
Okay, so Bambi's kind of holding one to her, trying to calm it down a little bit. And Vixen comes around the other side to the other dog. And, it's a very, very half-hearted, like, shush, doggy. No, stay. Be quiet. Like, she's going through the motions of being like, no, don't do that. But it's clearly like, she's got no intention of stopping these dogs.
Right. So, yeah. So can Pepper listen to see if like the door opens or John Castillo comes out?
I feel like when you are focusing on your animals, and especially these dogs that kind of fit you after so many years of doing it, that kind of becomes your focus. So to split your attention between multiple things would be a little more difficult.
All right. Well, there's not just me in this room.
I was gonna say, I'll check and see if what's his name leaves the room.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll awareness.
Okay. A large number. 19.
And I'm gonna just do my thing. I had a stat sheet for him somewhere and I don't remember where I put it. Okay, here.
I have a really fun idea.
I rolled a nat one. So yeah, you You can hear him come out of the room
Okay.
and head towards the little hallway that connects this from the smaller room behind, which corresponds to like the bar room section downstairs. You hear him come out through the door, go down through that hallway, and then stop in that smaller room.
Okay.
Okay.
Um.
So can
hmm.
we sneak around? Like,
Yeah. As I say, Klaus will try to sneak into the room.
Sure, real stealth.
Okay. Also, yes, Alex, that we started in the vents. Okay.
You know, Seattle's approach to things isn't going to work in every single game.
25. You say
Okay.
that.
Now, there is the potential for a Molotov cocktail. So, I mean,
Mhm.
that's kind of along the same lines as a bomb. Not really, but almost. What about you, Pepper, for stealth?
okay, so does he like nudge me like, hey, okay, where go? Or is it just Klaus just takes off without her?
Oh, I wish you hadn't have asked that. Cause
Because I was seeing
me,
that
yes,
happening.
I would, but Klaus wouldn't.
So instead she continues focusing on the dog, which I guess it works. I guess.
I guess.
All right. So, in that case, yes, Klaus, you are able to sneak back to that room. The door has not been shut all the way, just like it was before. So you're able to slip into the room, no problem. And you don't notice that Pepper, or if you do notice that Pepper is still unaware, she gets
yeah.
left behind.
Yeah, it's more of it that doesn't care.
Okay.
For Klaus. Does the door lock?
I'm not surprised.
I know.
Does the door does indeed lock.
Okay, Klaus is going to shut the door quietly and lock it and start trying to find the key cards. Now, important question. I think you mentioned that this person was smoking. Did they leave their cigarette or cigar or whatever it is anywhere within view?
The person who was sitting in the chair?
John.
Did I say that John was smoking?
I thought you did. I may have just imagined
No, there
that.
was a smoke smell after over the years. That's
Yes,
that's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he
okay.
wasn't actively smoking at the time.
Darn. Had an idea, but okay, that's fine. That changes the plan slightly. But yeah, I'm gonna look for the freaking key cards.
If you just want to poke around the room a bit, yeah, you can go ahead and roll awareness. Down on the bottom floor, have the dogs stopped barking? What is going on there?
Can the dogs roll awareness? Like if there's noise upstairs? Because I mean they've got good perception. They're dogs. So if they're hearing shit, like hearing footsteps upstairs, I assume that'd be Pepper's cue to get them to stop.
Well, Pepper already knows that
Okay.
that John has gone out through that smaller room in the back. Remember?
Okay,
Because
so
he passed right
yes.
by them.
Yes, the dogs stop barking.
Okay. Xavier
She's
still
kind
has
of in this.
Go ahead.
She's kind of in this weird situation though because she was just left behind and now I guess the door's locked. So she's like, I guess I'll stay in the dogs then.
Guess I'll die.
Thanks. I was not aware at the moment.
Is Pepper
in that
actually saying any
space
of
of
this at the
delay.
door?
No.
I was gonna say, because Klaus will just look at the door and go, shh.
Yeah, no. In the delay where she was like realizing that she was hearing footsteps and that Klaus left, like because her perception is like warped weird because there's two things going on. She's just like, okay then. Does Sid go with Klaus though?
Oh yes, Sid. Caught up in the heat of the moment. I forgot about Sid.
Sid is the Mao of this group.
Yeah. Well, Sid usually sticks by either Klaus or Niklaus regardless. So I'd say that it's probable that if he started moving, she would also move. So yeah, I
both
would...
of them. Between the both of them, she's like, okay, fine. I guess I'll be lookout then, and she stays with the dogs. Both of them stop barking.
Okay. Raven, what did you roll on your dice, and is your investigation higher than your awareness?
That's a good question. I rolled a 23 total for awareness. My awareness is 8, so that is brain no do
15.
math.
15.
Thank you. 15. Investigation is 1 higher, so would have been 24.
24. Okay. Just because awareness is more so just if you're glancing over things, and then investigation is snooping. So we'll take the slightly higher dice, which is the 24. You start to, well, I guess depends on the approach that you want to take. Are you being mindful not to mess things up too much, or are you just searching without...
I don't care if things are messed up, but I am trying to be quiet so I don't, have somebody come back before I want them back,
Yeah. Are you like still putting things back where they were, or are you just like tossing things?
If it was Nick, he'd be putting things back where they were, but it's Klaus, so no. If it's not what he wants, just throws it over his shoulder. As long as it doesn't
Why did
make
I
a whole
know
lot of
you were
noise.
going to say that?
It won't really
just like
matter by the end
tossing
of this.
papers. Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. Yeah, so you start digging through the papers on the desk, anything that's slotted into, like, there are some bookshelves and things on the sides of the room that were a little more difficult for Pepper to see just through the crack. And, things in the background that probably the moth wouldn't be specifically looking for just because it's tiny and has an appropriately tiny brain and can only focus on one task at a time. So there are some bookshelves and things. You could look through the books, pull them out, kind of like flip through pages to make sure nothing falls out, things like that.
Oh yeah, Klaus is being very thorough and having Sid, help as well.
Okay.
Probably starting with like, a filing cabinet or a desk drawer or things like that. But if there's nothing there, we'll move on to bookshelves and other things.
So Sid rolled a 27.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys are looking as thoroughly as possible through all of these different places. Anywhere that a key card could potentially be stashed, between book pages, between books, under the bookshelves, whatever drawers are open and available. You look through everything and you don't seem to be getting very many results. The only things that are not readily available to you are the drawers on either side of the desk, which when you tug on them, jiggle. They're there's movement in them, but they're locked.
Okay. Can we pick the lock or break it?
Do you have anything to pick the lock or break it? How would you like to do so?
I've got nails and a bat, but it's also got like the shear, the shears, whatever you call them, blades on it now.
Yeah. Because you use the desk to
just kind of wedge one of those blades in the gap of the drawer and try to pry it open. Again, really don't care if it's noticeable after the fact.
Yeah, so I will get you to roll for strength, please.
Yay, I just put stuff into this. Nat 20.
Excellent. I was going to say the DC is going to be a little higher, but I guess that doesn't matter. You are able to pry pry this drawer open. Which one? So there are 4 drawers. There are the 2 smaller ones on the top, and then the 2 larger ones on the bottom, 2 on each side. Which one are you prying open?
Top left.
Top left. So yeah, you're able to stick the shears in from the bat with nails that you have, and then kind of wedge that in between where the lock is, and use your brute strength to pop that open, and you pull open the drawer. And there is a stack of papers. There's a pistol in there that seems loaded, and that's about it. There's no key card.
Okay, toss the papers, pocket the pistol. Go on to the next drawer.
Okay.
Top right.
Including that nat 20 that you got. There is no damage to the shears either. So you don't have to worry about it breaking or anything like that in the drawers. So then the top right, you can go ahead and try to pop that open as well.
Okay. That is a 28.
This one also pops open with enough force.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you slide the shear back in there, wiggle it around the same way that you did with the first one, and you're able to use your force to pop it back open, get that lock undone, and you're able to open that one as well. You find a lot of similar things in this one. There's probably a couple of like empty vials in there as well, but these ones don't seem to have like the regular blue and red that you're accustomed to. When you pick up one of the vials and take a look at it, there's some liquid at the bottom that almost looks amber, but it's not like a liquor or any sort of alcohol or anything like that. That's a thin liquid. It's got some substance to it, so when you tilt the glass, it like moves slower.
It's viscous.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll pocket that.
But there are only like little tiny bits at the bottom, so there's not a whole lot. It's nothing that you can drink or anything like that.
Okay.
Which you and Sid seem to do with no problems. Just find things and drink them.
Yeah, and Nick is yelling from inside Klaus's head to pocket those. So Klaus rolls his eyes and grabs them and stashes them.
Okay. So you can add those to your inventory for later. There are 2 vials, one with like an amber liquid, and one of them with like I would say maybe a neon greenish kind of liquid in the bottom.
Okay.
There's a little bit more of the amber liquid than there is of the green, though.
All right, but still no key card.
Nope, still no key card.
Okay, dump the rest of the stuff gets dumped on the floor. Try to open up top, bottom left.
Bottom left? Okay, you can go ahead and roll another strength for me. And then Pepper. We'll go back to Pepper for a second. Pepper, are you still in the dog's minds?
Yeah, she's still kind of locked up in the other room. She's now kind of playing lookout, sort of. Okay.
Are you like actively through the dog's eyes, or are you kind of back to yourself?
Actively through the dog's eyes, I'd say for the moment. Like, how are things going over here? Is Castillo coming downstairs, or is he gonna turn around and come back? That's
okay. So
that's
roll
kind of the
an
concern.
awareness for me then.
Okay. Okay, it's 17 plus. Man, this one die is like, it's rolling me good. I'm using 2 different dice, and the other one is like hit and miss. This one is like, hey, sup, we're gonna be nice to you today. All right. That's awareness, you said?
Awareness, yep.
Okay. 25.
25. So the 25, the dogs themselves don't hear Castillo come down the stairs, and they don't visually see him either. So from their end, there's no movement, and he has not appeared down the stairs. Pepper herself, really unsure at this point whether he is closer to her or not. Last time you checked, he stopped in that the smaller room just beyond the hallway, and that's the last you know of him.
Okay.
So Raven, with your 26, You're not able to pry this first bottom drawer open, and your shears seem to take a little bit of damage as you kind of try to pop it with that motion again, and then
Okay.
the blade slips out from like the little crack that you've jimmied it into. But yeah, it doesn't successfully pop open on this time.
Okay. Time to go for
Seems a
plan
little bit-
B.
Okay, seems a little bit tougher on these bottom ones than it did on the top.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna get much higher than what I'm getting. So,
You could add a
Cloud-
d6 if you'd like.
that was with the D6. And there's 2 of them left. So Klaus is just gonna take that bottle of Everclear and start sprinkling it around the room, especially all over the papers, any curtains or anything that are in the room, a rug, anything super flammable. Just going, oops, clumsy me, until the entire room's basically just a fire waiting to happen, and then looks to Sid and goes, "Would you like to do the honors?"
It's very rarely that you see Sid show any sort of like normal emotion, I guess, like a normal level of emotion. She's just kind of quiet and keeps to herself, so she doesn't emote the same way that other people do. But you ask her this question, and there's a light that lights in her eyes as you extend this invitation to her. And she lights up her plasmid in the palm of her hand and lets a little flame dance up in the little palm of her hand there as she looks at you.
Okay.
Okay, so you hold there,
So-
and we'll go back to Pepper for 1 second.
Okay.
Pepper, you want to
There's-
roll awareness
There's
for me
method
again?
to that madness. Just
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's not one. I'm not aware.
Oh no.
Okay, so with a nat 1,
Yeah, we're out.
I
This is
mean-
going to shit anyway. So let's keep it. Oh, that die
Well-
that it just complimented it, that it was always rolling good for me.
What happens? You can't call it out like that.
No.
Well, since we're all going to hell in a handbasket anyway, yeah, no,
exactly.
Pepper, you are focused on your dogs, and everything for the moment seems perfectly fine. There's no movement. The dogs don't register anything coming down the stairs, anything like that. For now, you seem good to go. Sorry, back to Raven. So,
Yeah.
you and
So-
your method to your madness.
Yes. It's not just for the sake of arson. So while Sid's getting ready to light that, Klaus just walks over, unlocks the door, and stands sort of behind it. So like, if you were to open the door, Klaus would be hidden behind
Yeah.
the door, and kind of motions for Sid to do the same thing once the fire's lit.
Okay.
And pulls out the Tommy gun and just waits.
So we're gonna have to go step by step here.
Okay.
You go to
Uh,
open the door.
Not open it, just unlock it.
Okay. Unlock
and-
it.
The method to the madness is, if this guy comes in and sees the whole room is on fire, then he's going to grab the most important thing first, which is hopefully these frickin' key cards, and then Klaus can shoot him and take them.
That is a very good plan. So
Is it really?
It's a
I
plan.
mean,
Really?
I am concerned.
okay, let me
Or,
rephrase then.
just mug him. It doesn't have to be shoot him.
Let me rephrase. It would have been a good plan if Pepper hadn't rolled an at 1 on her awareness. You go to
Oh.
unlock this door,
Oh.
and you motion to Sid to start her fire. But as she is doing that, before she gets the chance to hide anywhere, before the plan is fully gone through with, the door swings open. And Klaus, you are behind it now with your Tommy gun. But Sid is still in the middle of the room. And that's when the door opens and John Castillo is standing there. And he pulls out his pistol because, you know, homie wouldn't be caught dead without one on his person, even though there was one in the drawer. He has this secondary pistol and takes aim at Sid. And he is going to fire.
This is a whole lot of things that are happening in the time that Sid could just drop the fire into the Everclear. I'm just saying.
Like, why not? ¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, so she's in the middle of doing, like, as she's doing this, she's setting things on fire. The fire is already started.
It's
I'm with you now.
Yeah, no. She's sorry, I should have been a little clearer.
Is this man the Flash?
No, I should have been a little clearer as I spoke.
I'm with you now.
Sid has already done this. She's already started lighting things, but I meant she hasn't had the chance to hide yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you're hidden behind this door. She has set things on fire, and then the door opens. He came back, and Pepper didn't have the awareness to catch it at the time. But yeah, so your plan is successful to a point. Ish. And he takes aim and he fires.
And that seems like actually like a beautiful cliffhanger. Please tell me it's not.
Why would you say that, Ro?
You know, it's really funny how things just play out for you, because I was absolutely not intending to leave it as a cliffhanger there. But considering, you know what, you seem to be so keen on having just a banger of a finale.
No.
That's where we're going to leave it for tonight, folks.
Oh no!
Thanks, Rowan. You ruined Christmas for everyone.
I don't think that's how it works, but
I'm kidding. All right. Well, we'll find out in May what happens here.
I love that for you guys.
Oh, thanks. I hate it. Before we go on a raid, we'll let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, anything they'd like to share or plug. And then we'll go on a raid. If you've got an idea for a raid cry, feel free to throw that into chat. And then we'll go reverse order. So V, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
In terms of favorite parts, this session, I don't know. It's like the sessions might not have a lot in terms of like progression of steps. But the character interactions and everything like that are always really super fun to listen to, and kind of the characters letting their personalities shine a lot. So a lot of my favorite parts were just like, you know, the Blackwoods interacting with Bambi, and Klaus being Klaus, and you know, just is the little parts. So even if we don't get through like a whole lot of different plot points through an episode, it's never dull. There's always something happening, and the characters are just great to listen to. I did quite enjoy Yaz getting to DM for 5 minutes though, because those are her. I was gonna say those are her boys, but they're inspired by her characters. So anytime that she can kind of take the reins on those and have fun with them, I'm always really happy to let that happen, and to see what she does with them. So that's really great. But yeah. And that cliffhanger. Thank you, Rowan. I wasn't gonna do you dirty like that. But then you said it and I was like, you know what? That is a good cliffhanger.
I
of course
expected that's exactly what you were doing, but said
I wasn't. I was going to be nice to you today, but you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't work out like that, and I'm okay with that. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Of course, I know what's going to happen next, but you guys have to wait until May to figure that out. So, but yeah, that's it for kind of that. In terms of me, you can find me here again tomorrow for the Star Wars finale, and then Saturday evening as well for Animus. You can also check out my stuff online. I do have an art Twitter which is at Pepper Draws. It's Pepper like the candy, just under my my GM name card there. And yeah, I was gonna say something else and I can't remember what it is because my brain is broken.
I totally.
I'm
get
sure if I remember it later before we end out stream, I'll jump in with it. But for now, that's it for me.
that. All right. Yes. Same questions. Favorite part. Where can folks find anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite. I'm sorry, but my favorite part, I'm very biased, is anything having to do with Blackwoods. I can't help it. I love them. And I love their presence in this story, and I'm always absolutely delighted to interact with them. And it was, despite the nervousness, it was also fun to get swapped around, and that's great. You can find me next on Friday, DMing the finale for Beyond the Wall, and it is going to be brutal. Everybody has survived so far, so tune in on Friday morning to find out if they survive this last round of dream surreal bullshit.
I think the real question is, how long is it going to take us to brutally murder Azrael?
I can't wait for you to read the comic.
I'm so excited. I've purposely not read like any of the source stuff because I want to go into the comic completely not knowing what's going on. So
you're going to be waiting. There's going to be so much waiting.
It's okay. It's going to be worth the wait.
I'm glad that you're excited, and I look forward to wrapping up on Friday. And yeah, that's it for me. Oh, I guess I could pop my shop link in there again. I do have a sale right now if anybody's interested in my stuff. Spring 21 is the coupon code for 20% off. And you can get this super cute hoodie at my shop.
Awesome.
It's pastel. There's black option too. That's it.
All right. Rowan, same questions. Favorite part, where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Honestly, I think the moment that Nick switched to Klaus was also super interesting because Nick at least fully understood what they were trying to do. Klaus and they kind of had a kind of they had kind of we're working together on that premise. But as soon as Klaus switched over, all of a sudden, like, it's like, oh no, not you. And so there was a little bit different tension there. Well, before it was like, Pepper's like, see, I can do it. And she's like, oh no, not you. And sure enough, that's when everything went wrong. So.
All right.
Just their interaction was my favorite. Where you can find me next? I will my Time Travelers, the season finale is Saturday, so tune in for that. Otherwise, you can find my stuff at rowannorthillustrations.org, and that's me.
All right, and that just leaves me. My favorite part. Trying to decide. Also trying to copy something while I'm talking is not working very well. There we go. I really enjoyed the interactions with Bambi and the brothers downstairs, and the sort of hopping back and forth. That was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, sneaking around was a lot of fun. And I'm glad in the end I finally got to set something on fire. So it's gonna be really fun seeing how that plays out next season for May, and yeah, we'll see what happens. You can find me next. I'll be jamming tomorrow, Elite by Beskar, at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for the season finale for that. I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody does on indoor, and just seeing how things play out with handing over their bounty and whatnot. That's going to be really interesting, and certainly nothing something surprising will pop up, I'm sure.
No, of course not.
Of course not. And then, of course, Fridays Beyond the Wall and Saturdays Time Travelers and Animus as well. Finale week for all of the shows for the season. And then other things to share or plug is just Fundamental RPG. It looks like this. And it's the system that we run Water and Animus on. We've got 4 shows next season, so in May, that are running on it. It's a D20 system that empowers players and GMs to tell the stories they would like to tell, how they would like to play them. And there's no classes or anything. You can kind of build your character how you like. And it keeps things pretty simple. You can play anything from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. You can get the physical copy at Amazon, or you can go to coffee.com/raven/shop. Like it says in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, just add /shop to the end. And you can find the digital version there, as well as free character sheets that you can download. And then Intrepid is our other sponsor. You can find that stuff at the same website. It's adventuring gear for real life, so coffee mugs, water bottles, athletic and casual wear, a bunch of cool stuff like that with a tabletop theme. And then if you'd like to catch up on this show or any of the others on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network. Just go to watch.thefantasy.network, and then look for the stream library option and go to Black Feather Guild, and that's where all of our old content is. And I think that's everything. So we're going to go on a raid. We've got 2 options here. The dogs, we stole them, or Pepper is a few cukes short of a cucumber. Pick whichever one you'd like. Throw that into chat as we go raid. And we're going to go raid, just making sure they're still live. Looks like it. So we're going to go raid Polished Cryptid. And she's currently running a one-shot of Necrobiotic. With Mitch, that's Penny for a Tale. That's a particular game that we're going to be running next season on Saturdays as well for a whole campaign. So if you want a preview of what that system's going to look like, Necrobiotic, I know, is on a Kickstarter right now. I think that runs through, it either ends in May or runs through May. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, go check it out. It's going to be really cool. There's a bunch of really cool people over there, and Polished is fantastic. So give her a follow if you're not doing so already. And then, yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.